welcome to the Transcription Hackathon. We want to welcome those who are participating here at BYU, and there are also some people participating online through Google Hangout from around the world, so it's kind of cool. Most of us are here, though, in this room. We are going to, we want to mention that Tyler over here is our photographer. He's going to be taking photos and they're going to be donated to create.lds.org. They always need photos, so if you're a photographer, that's a great way to serve. We're going to have an opening prayer by Nathan Fair, who's one of the program directors for Vineyard at BYU. And we'll get started. So we're going to hear now from Hilton Campbell, who's a software developer in the church ICS department. And then we're going to teach you how to use the transcription system. So here's Hilton Campbell. Yes.
Is that good, Tyler? Great. So, hi everyone. Thank you so much, so much for coming here today to do this. I'm Hilton Campbell, and I work for the church technology department at ICS. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how this all got started. In 2011, we had a volunteer who had donated an LDS music app that they had written for iOS, iPhone, iPad, and it was pretty good. It had the music in English, Spanish, French, Portuguese. We took it into the church, and we had volunteers continue to develop the app. We wanted to get the words to the hymns, though. It was able to show PDFs of the sheet music, so what you see when you see hymn book, but you couldn't search for it, or for the words, because we didn't have the text to the songs. And that's really what you're here for, not just to make them so that we can search the words, but also that sometimes it's easier to read the words rather than the hymn sheet music when you're on an iPhone or an Android device. It's also useful to have it on the web, unedited.org. Sometimes we don't even have sheet music for these songs. This is a really valuable effort that you're doing. You might ask, why don't we already have the words? I mean, obviously the church printed the hymn books and the children's song books, so why don't they have the words? Turns out they were done 3 decades ago when they thought, well, all we need to do is just print these books. We don't need to actually keep around the source material that we did this from. So we don't have the source material anymore. And that's why it's so important that we have your assistance here today. I wanted to share about the importance of what's going on right now. We had access, or we had legal approval to publish English, Spanish, French, and Portuguese, but we didn't have that legal approval for a long time to publish in more languages. And so that's been an effort that's been going on for about 2 years now. And just in the last month, we got additional legal approval to publish in 14 new languages. And every 2 weeks, we have approval for more languages. And so all of a sudden, we have permission to publish this music on the web and on iPads, iPhones, Androids, but we don't have the content to be able to publish it. And we've been trying to move as fast as we could, but it was just not fast enough. And so that's why we've brought you together here for this transcription hackathon, so we can just get it all done and get it out there. In many countries, there are import restrictions which prevent us from shipping hymn books to them. In China, for example, the only hymn books that exist are those that members brought with them as part of their personal belongings. But they have access to the internet, and they have access to the App Store for these devices. And so that's a way we can get this content into the country. In other cases, we can import the material, but it's difficult to get past the border. They have to stamp each and every individual book, and so publishing costs there are very high. And so it's just marvelous what we're able to do with technology and with your help. And so I just want to let you know how much we really appreciate you. I can't say that enough. And thank you.
Okay, so we're going to talk briefly about the transcription system. I guess what is transcription? It's transferring text from one format to another, sort of like family search indexing, how you look at a picture. In this case, you look at a book or you look at sheet music, and you type in what it says. So we're putting it into a central digital database so that it can be used on LDS.org, so it can be used in the LDS music apps. Right now for iOS, but pretty soon for Android and Windows Phone. There will be an official church LDS music app and in the Gospel Library app. So there are some priority languages. There are 10 languages that are the Internet 10. The church is trying to put everything online in English, Spanish, Portuguese, French, German, Russian, Korean, Japanese, and Chinese. And as Hilton said, some of these languages are finished. The hymn book and children's songbook. And some of these languages still need to be worked on. For English, Spanish, French, Portuguese, and German, the hymn book and children's songbook are finished, but the work that needs to be done is music from the Liahona and from the Ensign Friend and New Era for English, so music from church magazines. So we are going to talk about the music content management system. That's the website where we're going to be putting the transcribed stuff. Transcribed data. So I'm going to give you a live demo on my computer. So, can everyone hear me if I try and talk loud? Okay. So everyone who has their computer, if they could go to this website, I don't know how to, actually, hold on a sec. Oh, thanks. I don't know if you can see that. tech.lds.org/mobile/mcms. So for those of you who did RSVP, we sent out an email with this website address and asking as many as of you as could to sign in and get started. For those that weren't able to do that, you won't see this screen. You'll see a screen that has instructions for joining the project and signing the ICLA, which is a content license agreement. So when people go to this website, who does not see this screen that I have up here? Does anyone just have a list of bullet items still? Okay. So just a few of you. So after we talk about how to use the system, we'll have one-on-one help and we'll come around and make sure that everyone's in. So as you can see here, you have a list of languages. These are all the languages that the church currently has music content for that we're aware of. And there's a lot of them. And if you go in, for example, to Armenian, you can see the Armenian Hymns and Children's Songs book. You see a list of the songs in that book. You can click on a song. If you want to transcribe that song, you just click Start Transcribing. You click the Edit button. So first line, moods, that's where it says reverently or something like that. Credits, the people that are associated with it. And over here you have verses. So it's pretty self-explanatory. When you're done, you save it. And after you transcribe it, you press ready for QA. So there's a QA process. QA is quality assurance. Every hymn that we transcribe, one person types it in, and another person checks to make sure it's accurate. And that's important because these will be published by the church on lds.org and things like that. Usually most typos are pretty innocent, but every once in a while there's a typo that says something that it's not supposed to say. And if it's on a church publication, that's a problem. So you need to make sure that everything is typed accurately. There's a button up here on any page of the music MCMS. There's an instructions button. This is really handy. It brings up a LDS Tech wiki page, which is just content that's been put up there by volunteers. Talks about the transcription process, and it has specific information about what you should put in the title field, what you should put in the first line field, what you should put in the mood field, etc. That's all here when you click instructions. When you're looking at a song, for example, if we're looking at the French hymn book, hymn number 1, Le Jour Paré, there's a sheet music button at the bottom of the page. Most of our languages, most of the languages that people are here, there is digital sheet music available. So you can click sheet music, and it'll bring up sheet music in a new window. So if you don't have a hymn book, you can use this digital sheet music here and switch back and forth, or make one window go on one side of the page, etc. And that's it. So remember the instructions button, the sheet music button, the quality assurance process. There's multiple tabs down here for the info and for the verses. Edit button. Cool. Does anyone have any specific questions of what they've seen so far? Yes, Benjamin.
What if you see something in English?
What if you see something in English? You're looking at Italian
Yeah, for example, here it says playfully.
as like the mood?
Yes.
Okay. Correct it to the Italian that it says in the hymn book.
It says English.
It's written in English as playfully.
Interesting. Write it as it appears in the hymn book, so keep it as playfully.
What if there's typos in the actual hymn book? Should we transcribe those?
Transcribe it as is, and then let us know. And then, because when we know, we can let the music department know, and they can correct it everywhere. So type everything, transcribe everything as is, even if it's not the best translation, or if it's not exactly correct. Yeah.
We put it on the start transcribing, but it's not letting us edit anything.
Okay. Everyone who's RSVP'd.
Go to the bottom and then hit edit.
Yeah. So everyone who has RSVP'd in the past few days, in the past week, has been assigned to their languages, so you should be able to edit your languages. If you haven't RSVP'd, then we can add you to your language in like 5 minutes when we get started. So everyone can see all of the languages, but you're only able to edit the ones that you've been assigned to. So some of you haven't been assigned to languages yet, and we'll take care of that. Anything else? Cool. So that's the music content management system. So now we're going to talk about specific language assignments. So you're kind of in general sitting with your language right now. Those over in that corner are in the front here, are English, Spanish, French, and Portuguese, and German speakers. The text for the Hymns and Children's Songbook has already been typed, but we'll need you to do quality assurance of those books, so just make sure that they're typed in correctly. For German, the quality assurance has been done too, so you'll just skip right to number 3. So this is the order of priority for English, Spanish, French, Portuguese, and German content. First, we need people to quality assurance the hymns, then the children's songbook, And then we need people to transcribe and quality check the music from church magazines. So Italian, Russian, Chinese, Japanese, and Korean speakers. That's everyone in this section. Yeah. What you will need to do is transcribe and quality check the hymns first. The Italian hymns have been done. The other languages still need to be done. The children's songbook in all languages still needs to be done. And after that, transcribing and quality checking music from the Liahona. Yep. Then all of the other languages, which are in the back corner, that represent a large part of the world. Transcribing the hymn book, if it exists in that language, the children's songbook, if it exists in that language, and the hymns and children's songs booklet, if it exists in that language. And then from there, going into the Liahona music. That's it. So we'll be wandering around and answering specific questions and helping you get started.